The data reveals a completely different reality. Wealth generation is fundamentally about consistent, smart habits, not just luck. We're going to open up the Smart Savers Playbook to understand exactly how middle income earners across the country are quietly constructing substantial net worth, month after month, through strategic choices. It's kind of like a giant puzzle, and we're going to put the pieces together. Let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why some Americans always seem to have money left over at the end of the month, while others with the exact same salary are constantly scraping the bottom of the barrel? It's a relatable mystery, right? The common myth is that a six-figure income is the prerequisite for real financial security, but the material we're analyzing today completely dispels that. The data actually shows that many middle-income households are building substantial savings consistently. It proves that wealth accumulation is less about top-line revenue and way more about a disciplined financial architecture. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our stress-free roadmap for today. We'll start with building a solid foundation, then managing everyday spending, tackling the big expenses, protecting and growing wealth, and finally, the power of persistence. So, part one, building a solid foundation. Before we even look at daily costs, setting a rock-solid foundation is absolutely crucial. And this relies heavily on a concept called paying yourself first. It's a massive mindset shift. Instead of treating savings as an afterthought, just sweeping whatever happens to be left over into an account at the end of the month, you move money into savings the absolute second your paycheck clears. This simple action turns wealth accumulation from an optional task into a mandatory foundational habit. It basically ensures your future financial health takes priority over immediate spending. And when you build this into an actual system, it's pretty magical. Here is the play. Step 1, your paycheck arrives. Step 2, an auto transfer immediately kicks in, writing a predetermined chunk straight to your savings. Step 3, you just spend whatever's left. By automating this, the friction of decision-making is completely gone. You remove the temptation to spend that money because, well, it's redirected before it ever really hits your primary checking account. Your money literally does the hard work for you. Moving on to part 2, managing everyday spending. Let's be honest, it is super easy for everyday expenses to just quietly drain our wallets. To combat this, the 24-hour waiting period is an absolutely brilliant rule for impulse buys. Here's how it works. Whenever you get the urge to make an unbudgeted purchase, you force a 24-hour pause. Just step away. This short psychological buffer almost always breaks the spell of the impulse. When you come back a day later, you'll often realize that item was a want, not a need. It's a tiny trick, but it can save you hundreds of dollars a month. Beyond that 24-hour rule, successful savers use a bunch of rapid-fire daily hacks to optimize their cash flow. They create lists and compare prices. They use coupons and buy store brands. They cook at home and prep lunches, which is a massive money saver, by the way. They regularly cancel unused subscriptions and even switch out to LED bulbs and unplug electronics. While these might seem like micro-adjustments on their own, cumulatively, we're talking massive savings. Packing a lunch or cutting a forgotten streaming app really does add up. Now, a quick friendly reminder here about cashback rewards. Use them responsibly and strictly for planned purchases. Cashback programs are fun optimization tools for sure, but remember, they're designed to make you spend more. Treat that cashback as a fun bonus on stuff you were already going to buy, not an excuse to artificially inflate your spending. All right, let's jump to part 3, tackling the big expenses. We've talked about the small stuff, but smart savers also conquer the heavy hitters of any budget: housing, cars, and insurance. The data shows housing is usually the biggest single monthly expense. You can mitigate this by avoiding overspending on rent or a mortgage, maybe considering a smaller home or even roommates. For cars, instead of absorbing the crazy depreciation of a brand new ride, smart savers keep reliable used cars for years, and they stay on top of regular maintenance like oil and tires. They also shop around for better insurance rates every single year, and they aren't afraid to buy high-quality secondhand items. Choosing a smaller space or grabbing some awesome secondhand furniture frees up massive amounts of money for your future. Which brings us to part 4, protecting and growing wealth. So the crucial point is this: shifting from just surviving to actively thriving. And protecting that hard-earned wealth requires having 3 to safely 6 months of living expenses tucked away in a dedicated emergency fund. Unexpected medical bills, a leaky roof, or a sudden car repair are basically inevitable, right? Having this safety net ensures that when surprises happen, you don't have to rely on high-interest debt to bail yourself out. But hey, there's a super sneaky trap you need to watch out for, and it's called lifestyle inflation. This is exactly what it sounds like. increasing your spending to match an increase in your income, which completely prevents your wealth from growing. You get a promotion, you lease a luxury car. You get a bonus, you move to a pricier apartment. It's a really common trap, but once you're aware of it, you can totally outsmart it. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. A standard earner immediately increases their spending when they get a raise. They just absorb that new money right into an inflated daily lifestyle. But a smart saver? They save or invest that extra income to accelerate their wealth. By keeping their everyday expenses the same, even when making more money, they convert that raise into pure compounding financial fuel. Let's summarize some powerful proactive steps you can take. With credit cards, pay the entire balance every month. This avoids crazy interest and builds your credit. For investing, contribute consistently for years to take advantage of compound growth. Consider side hustles like freelancing or pet sitting and funnel that extra income directly into savings. And finally, education. Read books, watch videos, set clear goals. Setting a clear goal, like a dream vacation or total financial independence, makes this whole journey so much more exciting and keeps you motivated. And that leads us to our final section, Part 5, the power of persistence. I want to offer a warm reminder here. Saving isn't about absolute perfection. We all make financial mistakes. Maybe you splurged on a dinner out or forgot to cancel a subscription. That is totally okay. The trick is to just smile, forgive yourself, and get right back to those good habits. Wealth is really just a product of consistency, not flawless execution. The source material puts this perfectly, and I love this quote. Building wealth doesn't happen overnight. It happens one paycheck, one budget, one smart purchase, and one saved dollar at a time. Honestly, that just grounds the whole concept. It's those small, incremental choices that actually build long-term financial security. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this question to think about. What is the very first smart financial habit you will start today? Are you going to log into your bank and automate your savings? Are you going to try that 24-hour rule for online shopping? Or maybe you're going to go audit your subscriptions right now. You've got the playbook. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and go take control.